you had one shot or one opportunity to seize anything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or would you just let it slip? That's some lyrics to the song Lose Yourself by Eminem. And the only reason that I know that is because one of my former students taught me that. He came up during a poetry unit when I thought I was that English teacher, whose class you had to pass to graduate. And I was talking about poetry using music, and Eminem, I thought was a lot of violence, and I thought was a lot of profanity. After school, this young man, I will never forget, was waiting for me with that Cheshire smile, like the cat. And he says, Mr. Gross, will you read that? And I went down. If you had one shot, I get to... Dude, that's beautiful. He says, that's Eminem. No. So wait for it. Took out his Walkman, put the headphones on. He started to play Lose Yourself. And it stuck with me. Every time I talk around the country, I listen to it 3 times in the green room. I got one shot today. But the best part of the message is my students taught me more than I could ever teach them. I have learned so much from my students, and that's what I want to share with you today. But I got to tell you a couple things. Number one, I have people who think I'm not right in the head. I have an obsession with Kit Kat bars. Let me tell you why. We're sitting in the doctor's office one time, child, mom, child, and there's a dad over here with about an 8-year-old boy and a mom with 2 twin girls about 7 years old. I got my backpack. I'm hungry. I see a red wrapper, Kit Kat bar. I wanted it all for myself. Love my family, but I'm not sharing. I'm a fat guy, and I wanted it all. So I reach into the bag, I start to unwrap it, but it makes noise, so I do what any good father does. I cough as I unwrap it. Now I got to get it from the bag to my mouth. Hey, you guys, what's that cartoon? I've never seen it before. Everybody in the thing looks, up it comes, and it's sitting here on my shoulder. Got my Kit Kat bar. Now, I can't break it off, because society says you're supposed to break it off. I just leaned over, and I bit into the first 3 rows. And as I chewed, I looked up to see the young boy. Dad, why did he do that? The dad's looking at me shaking his head. I look over to the mom and the 2 children. The mother bear. I will protect you babies from the crazed Kit Kat destroyer. I happen to catch my wife out of the peripheral vision, and she's like this, going, why do I take him in public? We get in the car, and she says, what's this all about? What are you doing? I said, babe, society says we're supposed to break it off, take a bite, wipe it on a napkin. I go, it's my Kit Kat bar. I can eat that thing any way I want. Why do I have to eat it a certain way? It was like in teacher school when they taught us that this is the way you do it. You start with the outcome, you work backwards. It's just crazy how life has this way of doing it. So every time I see a Kit Kat bar, I smile. Because I look at that and I go, my Kit Kat bar, my way. Guess what? My life, my way. And I've been taught so much about life, especially from a young lady by the name of Kara. Kara had one shot at life. She's 14 years old. She's walking by my classroom door. Luckily, next to my classroom door, I had a fire hydrant, one of those red screens, and I could scratch my back on it in between classes. Look at a big grizzly bear in the woods. Okay? Freshmen go by, I steal their lunch. Kara came up one day, Mr. G, I've got your class next year. What are you going to teach me? And I look down. I do that teacher thing. I stare at her for 3 days. And I said, Spindler, I had your brother Eric in class. The name's not good. She punched me in the arm. She goes, he's a dork. I'm different. What are you going to teach me? And I thought for a moment. It popped right into my head. I go, I'm going to go with Greek mythology with you, sunshine. Greek mythology with you, sunshine. And she looked at me. She goes, what was it about? And I looked into those beautiful blue eyes. I said, it's about a girl who was way too curious, and her name was Pandora. She goes, oh, what did she do? I go, I'll tell you when you take my class. Go. So every day she'd come by, and she'd smile at me, or we'd have a conversation. And then life turned dark. That beautiful 14-year-old girl got leukemia. She'd been fighting leukemia for quite some time. Hardly anybody knew. She didn't talk about it. She kept the smile up. She did everything she possibly could. I never got a chance for that lesson. She passed. Well, I sat in the parking lot to Berry Funeral Home in Shepherd, tears just rolling down my face. I didn't know if I had the strength to go in, but I needed to say goodbye to this girl. When I walked in, it was packed. All I could see was the casket, and she had a white oak casket, and I couldn't quite figure out what was going on, but that's when Mr. Spindler came over and saw me and hugged me and about broke 3 ribs. It was one of the best hugs of my life, just to share. Eric came over. He hugged me, and we went towards the casket. There was an easel that this beautiful little child had given homework to anybody that attended her funeral. And all she asked was, can you write something on my casket that made you smile when you think of me? Something we did or a story. And I'm telling you, she put 100 different color Sharpies underneath this, and you grabbed one and you wrote. There's no place to write. Mr. Spindler and Eric took me around the back of the casket, and there was when you lift up the pallbearer handle, there's one box left, just like it was for me. And I went down there, I got on my knees, and I wrote. It's between her and me. I'm not going to share, but it did have something to do with Pandora, and I was really asking her, Sunshine, can you do me a favor? I need you to hold the back door to heaven open. That's the only way I'm getting in. So as we got to that. But as I drove home, all I could think of was this beautiful little girl at 14 years old who really didn't have a chance. Taught me one of the most valuable lessons in the world. Because I thought to myself, what will people write on my casket? I control that every single day. Am I going to live life according to what people tell me I should do? Tell me how to eat my Kit Kat bar? I don't play that game. It's my life. It's my way. Kara had one shot, and in 14 years, that little child taught me so much about life that at 60, her picture's on my computer, and it's one of the first things I see every single day. You have one opportunity in life. Like Eminem said, one shot, one opportunity. And this beautiful young man, Damon, he was in my class, and if you ever have people in your lives you just can't get mad at, I mean, you try. You even make stuff up. He's the nicest kid in the world, and when he'd smile, he lit up the room like no tomorrow. Well, Damon, like any senior, that last week of school couldn't wait to get out, and the last day jumped in the back of a pickup truck. Had the big old light bar, the lights on it, and he's holding on, and whoever was driving decided to turn left down a sharp road. Damon flipped out, hit his leg right on the curb, and shattered it in about 17 places. Then he got the news that none of us ever want to get. We have to take that leg. So from the knee down, they took his leg. Now imagine being 18 years old and they just took your right leg from the knee down. There's a very easy way to fall into self-pity, depression. Well, I want you to take a look at this picture. When you take a look at that right leg while he's out there golfing. He's got that nice titanium curved foot that he goes out there and he's getting ready. I'm dying to play golf with him someday. I might let him beat me. I don't know. But then we get to this one. Look he's on the track, running. Look at that smile. There's no self-pity there. And here's the kicker to this whole part with Damon. Damon runs and competes in triathlons. The Ironman triathlons. He puts a flipper on that leg and goes for a 2-mile swim, gets out, 114-mile bike ride, and then he runs a marathon. And the guy up here talking about him is his teacher who was laying in bed one day. The remote was 30 feet away. I texted my kid. Dude, come here for a second. He come up, Dad, what do you need? I need a remote. Are you kidding me? He walks the remote over to me. Thanks, bud. And I looked, and I was working. My computer was up, and Damon's slide was on there. I felt so guilty. I closed the computer. Best part, look at this. This is 2 weeks ago. He's standing first place in the Ironman triathlon. Look at the smile holding that up. One shot, one opportunity. Damon is out there, and he's seizing everything he possibly can in his life. He's my inspiration. And he's not the only one that I have in this incredible life of mine. I got a young lady named Jody. She was a beautiful girl coming through school. But you know how kids today, and even back then, there's a lot of mental health things going on. There's a lot of emotional problems. There's all kinds of things that you see, especially as an educator who's there with them daily. The next picture is quite graphic. I'm going to give you a warning ahead of time. Jody decided she was going to take control of her life through anorexia and bulimia. Basically, she was dying. I remember talking to her mom. Mom didn't know what to do. They were trying everything that they possibly could, but the one thing she could control was the food. She was depressed with it. A miracle happened. She got a therapist who also was a dietitian / fitness competitor and opened a new door for Jody. Now, when you look at Jody there compared to the top 40 on the Olympia stage for fitness competitors, she decided, my life, my way, doing what I want and doing what I love. That beautiful girl is now out training other girls. Some have problems, some don't, some want to take it to the next level. And her goal is to make it to the top 10. So for Jody to go from under 70 pounds and on the brink of death to what she's done now, I look at her every day in the gym and I get up and I get my own remote now. She's got her moment. She's got her life. This is her Kit Kat bar. She's doing what she wants. This beautiful girl's named Gina. Now, she wasn't a student of mine, but I've known her since she was about 6 years old. Her mom was one of my very best friends, Julie. And the cool thing is, when you look at this young lady, does anybody happen to recognize her? Can anybody yell out if you do? Nobody usually does. And I love that about Gina. Because if you'd watched any American Idol fans, 2014, you might have seen Gina. The best part about this situation, she had people around her getting her to go audition. They finally got her talked into it, got her in line, got her in there, and she wasn't hardly expecting to do it. She goes in, grabs the keyboard, plays her own song, she wrote her own lyrics, and she wrote her own music too. She gets chosen. She's in the top 30, and she ends up second. Second, because she had good people around her that told her how amazing she was and the cool things that she could do. Now, you might not hear about her a lot because her first album that came out, when we look at it, is Cold Fame, and there's a song on it called Unbreakable. Gina writes what Gina wants. Gina writes what Gina feels. She doesn't make the canned thing for public consumption. She's going to tell her stories her way with her heart, and it's one of the most beautiful things to ever see. And if you get a chance on Spotify and you listen to Unbreakable, the first line, I am my own worst enemy. I look in the mirror and I see nothing. It's an amazing, powerful statement how we beat ourselves sometimes before we even try things. She's out there, she's grinding, she's working on her albums, and she's got another one coming the Gina way. She's taking her one shot at life and making the most of it. Will you capture life? Gonna let it slip by you? Gonna walk past the Kit Kat bar? I'd love it, in fact, if you find me. Buy a Kit Kat bar, take a bite in it, find me on social media, send me a picture. Your life, your way, and you commit to it. Last story I really have to tell is, this is an arch rival. This is Terry Hesbrook and his wife. When I taught at Shepherd High School, Ithaca was up the road, and they were our arch rivals. We hated each other. And on top of it, Terry and his teams and all his coaches won 6 state championships. They were amazing. But Terry, his wife, Christy, they've started the B4 Foundation, which I proudly wear on my shirt today, because they went through something no parent should ever have to. Their beautiful boy, Brady, came home from college, and they saw his car parked in the garage. Couldn't find him. Finally, they found the back bathroom door. It was locked. Every parent's nightmare when they opened it, and their son had taken his own life. They could sit there and wallow in self-pity. They mourn every night. Terry told me flat out, my wife and I, we cry every single night. But they established the B4 Foundation that is now going all over the place, talking to schools. And he was an all-state athlete, went on to college to play ball, good-looking kid. It can happen to everyone. And Terry and his wife are trying to show and prove it's okay to not be okay. They're making the best of the life that they have. No problem whatsoever, because it's their Kit Kat bar and they're doing it their way. What's the crazy thing about this is the reason I stand on the stage today is I got my Maverick on. I speak nationally for about 12 years. I'm not good at self-promotion. So I sat one day and made 3 videos. I sent one to a superintendent. He never even opened it. I sent another one to a superintendent. He watched 30 seconds of it. I sent one to another superintendent. Next thing I know, guess what? Watch the whole thing. Within about an hour or 2, I get an email message. We get on Zoom and we chat. Next thing we know, I'm down here last year and I'm speaking to the middle school and the staff. I met Emily Tracy, who put all this together. The reason I picked her, when I saw her with the kids doing this TEDx talk, getting these kids confidence with life skills, there's nothing that just takes my heart and fills it. And I was so excited to tell her what an amazing job she was doing. This is hard work. This is extremely hard work. So when you look at it, when I came down, all I wanted to tell Emily is just keep doing what you're doing. And she looked at me because we had a situation when I was here last time. You're coming back next spring, you're talking to the high school, and you're doing a TED Talk, and you're doing Maverick. Okay, much like I respond to my wife, I went, okay. But I love that. And then she got a little mini Maverick with her, that Chloe girl. When they found out I was coming, Chloe made me this bracelet I've never taken off since I got it in the mail. And you know what she wrote on there? One shot. And I look at it every day when I get out of bed. And I snap that just a second. I go, one shot today. What am I going to do? And before I go to bed, I look down and I go, I had one shot. Did I at least do one good thing today? Did I make somebody smile? And that's the beauty of it. Little reminders like that Kit Kat bar. Little reminders for me like stories like Kara, Damon, Jody, Gina, the Hesbrooks. So I'm going to ask you guys, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in just one moment, please will you go capture it? Please. Life is so very short. There are extraordinary people who think they're ordinary in the audience right now. It can't be perfect, but it's our imperfections that make us perfect. You keep trying day by day. If you see a Kit Kat bar, get crazy. Do it in public in a grocery store line. Open it up, bite into it, and watch the reactions. Please videotape and send it to me. But I guess the best possible thing that I could say, your life, your way. Go get your Maverick on. My name's Jay.